Hello and welcome back to Spirit Rebels. And this week it is episode 11 and it's all about life purpose. Obviously, you are listening to me, Helen, and of course, our wonderful
Shelley, yay! Do you know what? If I could just for 1 week just go Shelley and just say my name normally, like why is it an impossibility? People have listened back over these episodes going, can she not say her name without like putting up a fucking balloon beside it? I mean,
I love how you do it. And also, whenever we say bye, we both go bye, like we're in a bloody choir. So I think it's just
a
our way.
choir, yes, Spirit Rebels choir. Can we?
Oh my God, we would definitely not have any
Oh no.
listeners then. It would be like two bloody cats being killed. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Oh dear.
Oh, so then, Shells,
Yes.
episode 11, life purpose. But before we get
Indeed.
into that, how's your week been?
It's been good, but still with the busy. I'm getting myself all excited now because of all this new stuff I'm doing in the witch school courses. Everyone's shifting levels now, so it feels like a total relaunch of everything that I do just about. And it's really exciting. And I've been sitting playing with my cards and things as well, and they're all just giving me lots of super supportive advice about, push on, go forwards, be bold, be brave. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this, let's do this. Been talking to me aliens again, following up from last week, watching for me spaceship clouds. But that's me. That's fine. That's me.
That's why we love you.
There's not been other than like I feel a little bit at the moment like I'm functioning day to day a little bit, if that makes any
Mm.
sense. And that's okay because that's where we're at the moment. But you know what? It's all the emails you get from school. Are you the same? I get like 2 emails a day about then there's this, and then there's an author visit, and then they're going to have this, and then they've got to do that, and then there's this, and please send £3 in an envelope for the disco. And they say, well, can we not just pay for the disco on the silly app where I pay for everything else, please? But yeah, that's the edges of my struggles this week. So I'm doing
Oh.
okay.
Well, Lily's school's not really like that. We do get comms, but not huge amounts of it, which is good. But then it means when I do get something, an in-mail drop in, I'm like, oh my God, what's she done? What's she done? That's where I go to instantly. But often it's not the case
I
at
think
all.
the older they get, the less communication you get because I don't get much about Tristan. But middle school stuff, they're like, oh, and she's a social butterfly, and it's like she's at what is it? She's at drama club on a Friday. She's got show choir on a Wednesday. She's netball on Monday. Then she's brownies on a Thursday. Not brownies anymore. Guides on a Thursday.
How do you
Um,
keep up with
I
that?
don't. I don't at all. Like I'm
Oh
literally a
my
glorified
God.
taxi driver, is what I am. I'll also apologize in advance if I hesitate or stutter or stop today because there's a fly in my recording room and I've told it to go and sit down, but it hasn't listened to me. So yeah, if I'm no, I don't know why I'm saying this because you guys won't see, but Helen will be watching me flapping my arms around as if I'm on fire or something. It's a bloody blue bottle and it won't go away. So how's your week been, my darling? How's the study going?
Oh, well, I'm at a crisis point, and before we came on air, bless Shelley, she did help me. We did have to ask the cards what I should be doing. So I'm just feeling quite overwhelmed at the moment, but in a really good way in terms of my job. I'm absolutely loving my job, loving my work, but it's all consuming. Then obviously I have my amazing daughter who, as you know, at 13, we are at that stage in life where we've got the ups and the downs and the hormones. So that's a bit of a challenge in itself on a day-to-day basis. My house has gone to wreck and ruins because I've got no time to clean that.
I know that
So
feeling.
this, yeah. So the thing that's hanging over me is this study, and it's come to the point where it's just making me miserable. And I've now sat back and I'm debating whether I need to have a break for a few months and ask for a study break because I'm just so under pressure with my job, and you just can't do it all. And so I've got to make some decisions this weekend and work out what I'm doing, and I really need to get this qualification, and I will get this qualification. However, I just think the timelines at the moment are a little bit too challenging for my life, and it is starting to make me sad. And when you're feeling sad about something, I'm not enjoying any of the learning. I'm resenting it. And when you resent something, you don't do it to your best ability, you don't put 100% in, and I'm at that point. So just weighing it up about what I need to do, but I think I need to be honest with myself. And we're human; we can only do so much, and I feel like I'm struggling with it at the moment. In all honesty.
So what I'm hearing, Helen, is that you don't have enough spoons for everything that you have going on in your life at the moment.
No, and interestingly, all I ever get now when people meet me and they can see I'm stressed, because I wear my heart on my sleeve. So those of you that know me, you can tell instantly by my body language and my face of where I am. And I'm getting a lot. Helen, I think you're giving too many spoons away. Have you given too many spoons away? How many spoons have you got, Helen? Because I am, yeah, I probably am giving more spoons away right now, and I need to put my life into some sort of balance. And equally, guys, I think so. For a long time, I didn't want to admit that I was struggling with the study, because then it'll be a sense of failure. What I'm saying is, I'm just struggling to do it all right now. I don't want to give up on it. I'm just struggling with it all. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it is to admit that it's all too much. So what's going to give and take? My job, I can't give and take my job. That's my job. I'm employed to do a job. I love my job. So the one thing that could maybe give a little bit is this study.
Yeah, I think that, at the end of the day, we are human and there are only so many hours in a day, and we do only have so many spoons to go around for everything that we have to spoon energy into. And I think, and we've talked about this before, you and I, the fact that it's easy to forget that everything that we are doing, all this physical stuff in our life, is a choice. And sometimes we don't like the alternative choice, but it is a choice. And often as not, there are other alternative choices that we just haven't made room in our minds to think about because we've been so stressed about thinking about all the other stuff that we're stressed about. So to bring it back to that idea of actually, I was listening to the language that you were using there about I need to do my job. Well, actually, you don't. You could, if you wanted to, go and live in a cardboard box somewhere. You don't want to do that. You want to do your job so that you can pay your bills and live in your nice house and have your life and everything else. But, there was a thing I read a little while ago, and I wish I could remember who it was. I think it was someone quite famous who said it. I don't know if it's an Abraham thing or Joe Dispenza thing or whatever. But it's rather than saying, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do the other, switch that language up to say, today I get to do this and I get to do that and I get to do the other. And instantly you shift your vibration about it. But the idea, and oh God, it comes down to this programming thing again, doesn't it? The idea that if we make a conscious decision to stop doing something we have been doing, to maybe take a break, put it on pause, evaluate our life and how many spoons we're giving into X, Y, and Z situation, it's a weakness, it's a failure. When actually, no, it's either just a change in direction or it's a break. It's a pause button rather than anything else. But again, this programming teaches us that we have to put everything into everything that we do. And then if we can't handle everything, if we can't be, some sort of Wonder Woman superhero figure and just get it all done without having some sort of meltdown in the middle, we're failing. When actually, no, we're not failing at all. We've just made a choice, and it's okay to be empowered enough to make a choice about your own life,
And I agree. And interestingly, that leads into a really good point that we need to let our listeners know. So we've made a choice, dear listeners.
We have.
That we are, so we're on episode 11, which I hope you're going to love. It's going to be a good one. But we've made a choice to then have a break for 3 weeks. 3 weeks only, guys. So don't be going off and listening to other people and forgetting about us. But we just want 3 weeks to recharge ourselves. And we wanted to, so we've done, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've done a lot on angel numbers. So our episodes come out at 11:11. And we're finishing on episode 11. And then we're having a 3-week break. And then we'll be back in your ears, back with weekly content. But like I say, please don't switch off and go and listen to other people. Use this time to connect with us on socials, to catch up with other episodes, tell us your stories and how you're doing with things. But we're just going to take 3 weeks and then start again with series 2, as it were.
Tell you what would be nice as well for our next chapter, let's say, and I'm totally dropping this on Helen now because we haven't actually talked about it, is if any of our listeners have any questions about
Yes.
spirituality or magic or the seasons or spoons or energy or bees or anything that would manifestation, anything that we've talked about, or anything we haven't talked about, because that could lead to some more interesting conversations, drop us an email. I'll give you my email address and I'll put it in wherever I put stuff. Shelley at shelleymagic.com. Pretty easy to remember. And Shelley is Shelley. Or you can drop us a message via the Spirit Rebels Facebook page, the Instagram page, and let us know what your questions are, and we will tackle them head on when we move into our next chapter.
Yeah, and they can be as challenging or as easy as you like. You know me and Shelley by now. We have been very open and shared a lot of ourselves with you, maybe too much, could be argued. But for us, we're carrying on with this. We love it. We hope you love it too. The only way we can carry it on with it is if you guys are listening, engaging, and wanting it. So like I say, please don't worry. It's literally just 3 weeks, just so that we just have a bit of time, and then we're going to go into the next series or next chapter. I much prefer that, Shelley. That was a good one. The next chapter. And we've got that all planned out, but that's not to say that we can't make changes. So if there's specific things you would like us to do an episode on, let us know about that as well, because it may be that actually you're thinking, well, actually, I'd like an episode all about crystals. Okay, well, let us know that and we'll see what we can do.
I think we have got an episode about crystals planned.
We have got one planned, but I was just don't ruin it, Shelley. Don't ruin it. They might not have thought of that.
Sorry. Before we actually move into the body of our episode today, can I just say a little thank you to the people who have left us comments and have given us feedback about the episode. Particularly lovely Natasha, who left us a review on our Facebook page. And honestly, I don't know about you, Helen, but when I seen it, I had a little cry.
I was so excited when I got it. Well, we've had some lovely ones. We've had just some lovely comments, people saying things. Vicky's been a huge supporter. Emma just mentioning some names of people that I know have been supporting. Greg, Natasha's was lovely. Even just things we've been sent by people, just saying, oh, I've manifested this. Or just whatever. We love it. And it's why we did this, isn't it? Because we just wanted to, even if it helps one person or gives somebody something new, one little tool in their toolkit, then happy days.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for listening. I mean, don't worry, we've got the episode to go. I sound like I'm winding up, don't I? But I just want to kind of say thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging, checking in with us and sharing your stories and things. And we would love some more. We would love some more of them. But shall we actually dive into our episode 11?
Yeah, episode 11 then, life purpose shells. So where do you want to start?
So, oh God, well, I could talk about this stuff forever. You know what I'm like. I guess the way that I'm looking at life purpose is that, and one of the reasons why I wanted to put an episode in about life purpose was because I get a lot of people who come for card readings, alchemy sessions, whatever, even to witch school and stuff, and they're talking about wanting to have clarification, to have understanding, just to be told why they're here. You see, if we often feel like we're here for a purpose or a reason. And I like that. I like the fact that, if we can say, yeah, I'm doing exactly what I'm here to do. I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. But you know what? If you go for a job, okay, if you apply for a job and you go and you get a new job, you are given a job description. You are given a job title. So you know what's going on. As someone who comes to this planet with a purpose, we arrive here and we're like, right, okay, so what's our job title? Oh, you can find that out. Okay. So what's my role? What's my role here in this life? You'll get it. You'll understand as time goes on. But will I? Oh, okay. And where do you want me to be based? Oh, just you'll find out. It'll come. Right. And do I have a team? Oh, you will? Yeah. And where's my team? Oh, you'll discover them on the way. Right. Okay. And how will I know if I'm doing a good job? You'll get it. It'll just happen. Oh, right. And do I get any objectives or anything like that? No. Oh, okay. And will I get like a one-to-one every now and again, like a review or anything, so I know if I'm doing well? No, no, you'll not get one of them. So we're like, right, okay. Imagine starting a job like that in those circumstances. You just no, you would
It would
leave.
never happen.
It wouldn't happen. But as humans, that's kind of what happens. We arrive
Yeah.
here with a sense of purpose, a sense of, right, I'm here to do something. And then there's not really much to point us in the right direction unless we know where to look. And that's what I kind of want to talk about today. So, do you, Helen, my darling, do you feel like you have a life purpose?
So, as I've got older, I do feel like I've been put on this earth or put into people's lives to bring a sense of happiness, positivity, joy, laughter. Because those people that know me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have crisis days where I sit and scream into a pillow, cry my eyes out. But on the whole, if you spend time with me, it's laughter, it's smiles, it's happiness, it's seeing the best in people, it's seeing the best in everything, really. And that, I've been told, really G's people up, and it really brings a sense of happiness into their lives. And previous partners of the love world have sort of gone that I've been brought into their life to or they can see when it ends, like what I brought into their life was joy, happiness, companionship, support. We can get through this, supporting through challenges. So I feel like I bring that into people that I interact with. I hope that would be a fair. That sounds all quite egotistical, doesn't it? And I don't
No,
mean it like that, but
I'm doing that thing where I react again. No, why is it that we are not allowed to acknowledge our lovely qualities without sounding I can't even say it, egotistical? No, you are just literally doing a little inventory of, who you actually are. And in place of the universe coming to do a little review for you, if this counts for anything, I think you're absolutely hitting all those objectives, so to speak. Well, you certainly are for me, and I'm sure you are for our podcast
thank you.
listeners as well. Um, but I think, and how do you feel about this idea as well? So, a lot of people who I work with kind of have this, and I would say it's a misconception, not that I'm judging anyone, but this idea or this belief that our calling, our life purpose actually has to be what we do in our 9 to 5 job. It has to be part of our
Yes.
career. How do you feel about all that?
No, I agree. And also, and also, I don't know, when you first meet somebody, the first thing you always say as well is, oh, so what do you do? It's such a big part of our lives. And I think that puts a big then pressure on us when maybe jobs isn't everything. But I think exactly like that. And I'm trying to shift that because actually, because I've been told quite a few times, you should be a nurse, Helen. You should be a nurse because you're so caring. You're so this. I work with nurses; they are amazing. I would be a shit nurse. Do you know what I mean? I just know I would be. But yeah, I absolutely agree with that philosophy, and but I don't like that fact that it's based on, or we think it has to be based on what we do for a career, for example, or a
Mhm.
job, because jobs and careers are two different
Yep,
things. Some people don't want a career, some people just want to go and do a job and earn money, and that's fine.
absolutely. But there is this idea that, oh, well, if your calling is like, oh, Helen, you should be a nurse because you're caring. Well, it, it doesn't, yeah, nurses are caring, or most nurses that I've met anyway, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you have to then, go and be a nurse. There's lots of different professions and careers that caring is necessary anyway. But just because that's one of your qualities doesn't mean that has to rule how you spend your 9 to 5 hours. I know lots of people who have jobs, like work jobs, career jobs, and they do their job, and it's literally so that because what they love to do, their calling, their passion, if you like, at, in that moment in time doesn't pay financially or reward financially enough to support the lifestyle that they want to live. So they go and they do this job, they're there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or whatever shifts that they do. Then they're out of work time, they're doing the stuff that they feel passionate about. The problem being with that is the fact that often we feel then that we have to give all our spoons over to the 9 to 5 job, and we don't necessarily have enough spoons left to fuel the stuff that we want to do for, just for feeling good, and because we feel that that is our passion, our calling. So, if you're someone like me and I am so grateful for my life, like I sometimes just nip myself because I cannot believe that I have got this far. And you know what? It's not been an overnight thing. This has been, I think, 17 years now I've been on this gig, and it's been building the whole time. But the fact that I have actually taken something that was a hobby, an interest, and have built a career out of, I know that I'm in the minority here. I know that I am so, I was going to say the word lucky, but no, there's been a massive element of hard work in it, yes, but I don't want to rely on that. There has been a massive element of, I guess there's been big risks I've taken. This is.
So it's probably been a huge amount of worry as well, because if you don't get the uptake on business, you're not going to earn the income.
And then you can't do what you want to do.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, my heart has led me to where I have been. Now, when people say to me, well, how do you find out what your calling is? I'm not really passionate about anything. I've got a job, it's all right. But how do I know what I am here to do? I will revert back to an Abraham Hicks teaching, because you know how I feel about good old Abraham Hicks. If people aren't listening to Abraham by now, go and find them. YouTube, there's loads. Anyway, and the idea that if you want to know what your purpose is, there is one clear answer to that. And the purpose for everybody on this planet is exactly the same. So I'm going to need you just to hear me out on this. So our purpose as human beings is to come here to find happiness and joy. End of. Full stop. That is our whole entire purpose of life. Now, let's break that down a little bit and unwind it and unravel it. Normally, if we follow what brings us happiness and what brings us joy, we find that in some way we are contributing to this planet. We are serving other people. We are uplifting other people. We are teaching other people. We are protecting other people. We are creating something to deliver to other people. We are providing beauty or art or education, or there's something in there to support people's lives. And that's why everyone has such different passions, and why we're all so unique with what our likes and dislikes are. Nelly said a silly word. Sorry.
What was the silly word? You've got to share it now.
It came out as dick likes.
We don't mind dick like things.
We're being so super serious there, and it all just went totally wrong. But never mind. Yeah, this is why we're also unique and individual when it comes to what we are passionate about, because there is a place for all of us on this planet to do what it is that we want to do, that makes us happy and make our hearts light up. Now, I honestly believe that if every single person on the planet followed what made them happy and did that, this world would be a very happier place. There are people on this planet who like doing things I don't like doing. There are also people on the planet who, could look at what I do and go, oh my God, I would hate that. And that's totally okay. I genuinely believe that there would be a role for everyone that made them happy if we were just maybe brave enough to step into it a little bit more. And people, when I say the key reason that we are here, our purpose in life is to find the biggest experience of happiness and joy and create a happy, joy-filled, abundant and wonderful life. People think, well, that's really selfish, and that's just, it's unrealistic. That's not how things work. But it genuinely does work that way in my head. And if you're looking at manifestation, law of attraction, energy work, working with the universe, that is what it's all about. It's about being happy, because why else would we come here? We didn't come here to suffer. Yes, there is some suffering involved in life, losing people and illness and grief and pain and stuff. But all of that, I believe, is here to bring us experience, to help us understand, to learn, to grow on a soul level, and get the kind of growth that we can't get as souls floating around out in the heavens or wherever we are. So yeah, following your bliss, following your happiness, following your passion will inevitably lead you to where your calling, your purpose kind of
So
lies. How does
just,
that sit with you?
well, I love it. It all sounds very nice. I'm just the flip of that, I suppose, then for me, and where some people may be listening to this and want to challenge is, well, what happens if you have to do a job just to earn money? Because you've got to keep your family alive and fed and all of those things and house and stuff. But actually, I don't want to pick a job because it will be somebody's job and they might, but say it's a different job to what I do now, for example. And it's not something I enjoy, but I've got to do it. I suppose the challenge comes for me back to you is I have to do that job to earn money to keep everything going, but it's not something I'm happy about. So do I then have to find, so I suppose it comes back to the idea about the job, doesn't it? The job is not the be all and end all. So then you find your happiness and your life purpose in another aspect. And it might be volunteering or something you're passionate about, playing in a band or whatever, and that's then where you get that happiness from. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And okay, so if you were in a position where financially you need to go and do that job, I guess there's a few things there. It's about coming back to that choice thing again and realizing that you don't have to go and do that job. You might not like the alternative, not getting paid or, losing your house or everything else. No one wants that. But it's about switching your perspective up on that situation and saying, well, if I like the pay packet at the end of the month, I like the security that this job brings me. Go, rewind a few episodes and we looked at this sort of stuff and we talked about if we find ourselves in situations where we feel like we've made the best choice and but we're still not happy with that choice necessarily, doing the positive aspects list. And actually, if you've got a job you don't like, but you are happy outside of work doing, you're teaching people how to meditate or decorate cakes or painting with wine. I'm desperate to go and do one of those kind of nights. But if that isn't at the moment necessarily supporting you financially and you feel like you have to go and do your 9 to 5 type job, it's about switching up that mindset and saying, okay, well, I know where I want to be. I want to be leading painting with wine classes. To the point where I can sustain myself and my family financially going forward. Great. Manifestation list. Start working on that. That is the way forward. But in the meantime, I'm choosing to have an income. I'm choosing to pay my bills. I'm choosing to keep the roof over my head. I'm choosing to go and do this job because I like the security it brings me. I like the comfort zone. And actually, if I'm putting all my creative spoons into designing painting with wine classes, then you know what? I don't need to be challenged so much through the day with my creative spoons. I'm going to go do my job. And then when I come home, I can switch off from that. If that's not the case, it may be the case that you need to be honest with yourself and question whether or not that day job that you are doing is the right one for you at the moment to be able to support who you actually are as a person.
Well, that kind of takes you back to the study. So the other week, I've talked about it on these podcasts before that I've been doing all these extra presentations on the side, and it's stuff I'm really passionate about, communication and teams and things like that. And I was asked to go and do it, and I did it again and went somewhere and met people and loved it, and it was really good. It's literally an hour, but that hour was brilliant, and it's everything I believe in and I'm passionate about. So when I had to sit at home quite late at night preparing for it and everything because I had a busy day, it wasn't a chore because I absolutely love it. Yet when it comes to that blooming study, that is a chore. I'm just like, because it's kind of like a means to an end. It's like kind of, oh, for a future career, I might, it would be good to have type of thing rather than the here and now. And so that's why I think I've just lost love with it because it's nothing I'm really passionate about. It's not lighting that fire in my belly. Whereas doing that presentation, if I'd had to spend a whole evening on it, it wouldn't have been a problem because I was so invested in it, so passionate about it. I was there. I was in that moment.
It recharges your spoons.
Yeah, that definitely recharged my spoons.
Yeah.
And like I say, my job right now, I described myself at work recently to the leadership team actually. I said I'm like a pig in shit. I'm so happy with where I am right now, with
Yeah.
what I'm tasked with the trust they've instilled in me to deliver a service, or a couple of services actually, and it's really boosted me. And I'm in a very, very happy place in terms of work. And I suppose I don't want to harp on about study and bore people, but when I started that study, it was 12 months ago. The situation was very different 12 months ago. Circumstances were very different 12 months ago. And now, 12 months on, circumstances have changed. So, whereas it was back then giving me spoons and enhancing my life, it 12 months on, it's not doing that. It's now taking my spoons rapidly away from me.
Yeah.
So, hence having to stop, breathe, and relook at it, because
Yeah.
I am actually losing spoons at a rate of knots, and I don't want to lose those spoons because I want to really focus and continue to do what I'm doing with my career.
And I think that's the hardest part of it, is stopping and reminding yourself you have a choice.
Mm,
When we set out, as you say, the circumstances in your life and in your work situation when you signed up to this course were very different to what they are now. And you couldn't see around corners. You didn't know all this was going to happen. Otherwise, you'd have gone, oh, well, wait till all that stuff's over with, then I might do it. Um,
yeah.
but so life is, I guess it's about being more flexible, more fluid, and flowing with what is coming up for you, rather than trying to battle against the tide. I'm gonna come back to Abraham again because I just can't help myself. They've got a perfect little story for this. So Abraham Hicks teaches that there's a lovely phrase that we need to drop our oars when we are struggling, when we are finding that nothing is or things aren't working the way we want them to work. We need to drop our oars. And they tell a story about how when we are born, we are all given a little boat, and we, at birth, push our little boat into the river, and we are given a set of oars with our little rowboat, and off we go. The thing is, when we hit the river, we look around ourselves when we become, old enough to look around. Even when
Mm,
we're little, we still look around. And we see everybody around us trying to row upstream, because that is what the majority of people are doing. They are trying and they are doing and they are fixing and they are trying to force things to happen for themselves. And what happens when you try to row upstream? It's exhausting. You don't get very far. But what a lot of people don't realize is the fact that there isn't anything upstream that we want. We're actually heading in totally the wrong direction. Everything that we want, the success, the abundance, the fulfillment, the feelings of relaxation, the relationships, the nice house, the, kids, the dog, the car, whatever it is that you're wanting, the holiday, the shoes, the meal out, it's all downstream. Yet, because everyone is frantically trying to row upstream, we start doing exactly the same. So we sign up to courses and then we make ourselves continue with courses, even though they are exhausting and they're not bringing us what we want at the moment. And we keep pushing on, thinking, if I just keep going, I'll get there. But if you're rowing upstream, you're not going to it's just going to get harder and harder and harder. And what the universe teaches us by Abraham is that if we just drop our oars, if we pull them in, put them in the boat, kick back, pour ourselves a nice drink, and let our boat on the river of the universe that is life just flow downstream and work with the flow of the river that is the energy and the magic and the universe, we're going to get to where we want to get to. But what happens when we kick back? Oh, that's lazy. Oh,
yeah.
that's selfish. Oh, look at you, just expecting things to be handed to you on a silver platter. Born with a silver spoon in her mouth, that one, wasn't
Mm,
she? Oh, look at you, just enjoying the ride. Nothing comes without hard work. You don't get anything worth having if you don't bleed, sweat, and cry to get there. But actually, the universe is just so fucking sick of hearing these messages and watching everyone struggle. I mean, if I was the universe, I'd just have a hissy fit and cause a tsunami in the river and see what happens. I mean, I
But I
wouldn't.
think
That would
as
be
well, I'm worried about what other people will say. So, for example, what's my employer going to say? What is my fellow students going to say? And actually, you're right. I just need to ignore all of that because I have to do what's right for me and me right now. And I think we as humans, we spend so much time worrying about what others think
and
and
how we'll be
taking that
judged.
in, and how we'll be judged and what that means for others. And well, actually, right now it should only be about what matters for you.
Yeah.
This is your journey. You're on this planet. We only have one shot on this planet.
Well, we don't actually. We have many,
Well,
but we only remember
yeah,
one.
I know, but as we know it, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Following on from last week's all our ascended masters and everything, but you know what I mean. As we know it now, as
Yeah.
human beings walking on
Yeah.
the earth, we have this one chance, and it's a bloody short life.
Mhm.
Because before we know it, we are older, so we have to enjoy it. We have to make the best of it. And like I've mentioned my gran before, she's 95, but she's happy.
Yeah.
And she's lived a good life, and she's never had huge abundance in terms of money and things like that, but she's got happiness with friends, things that she's done, family, and she lives a happy and enriched life through that.
Yeah.
And I always find her really my inspiration in that respect. She's never gonna be the bloody queen or live in a mansion, but she's happy.
But she probably doesn't want to be the bloody queen.
No.
Apart from anything, the Queen's dead now, so
well, yeah, really I'm sorry, King Charles. I mean, I do like King Charles myself, but I still always refer to the Queen. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
But the thing is, and I say this so much, it comes up in a lot of my Thursday card readings, it comes up in a lot of my sessions. We didn't come here to live life for anyone else. We came here to live life for us. But this idea of being selfish, of being lazy, of being greedy, of not caring for other people, is kind of consumed a lot of us. We didn't come here to live anyone else's life, and other people didn't come here to live our lives for us either, so if we're making decisions based on what we think other people want for us, we're not living our own life, we're living their life for them. And the idea that people are going to get judgy or pissed off if you change your mind, not just about you doing your study, but about other people, whether they're going to move somewhere or going to do whatever. If people are going to get judgy and pissed off, think about what they're actually getting judgy and pissed off about. Someone else is getting judgy or pissed off about the fact that you are apparently being selfish. So you are being selfish because you're making a decision for you, and they think you're being selfish because you're not doing what they want you to do. Think of it like that.
Yeah.
When
that is
someone
true.
says you're being selfish, it's because you're not acting in a way they want you to act. Now, where does the selfish vibes lie within those type of conversations, please?
Well, with the other person that's saying it, because they're being selfish, putting that onto you and saying that in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that nugget. I love that nugget. The idea that, we came into this world, yes, from our parents or whatever, but we came into this world on our own, and we live our lives on our own. But we get it's fine to live a life where you walk your path really close to somebody else's path, and you can even hold hands for a bit as you walk along their path. But when someone else's path tries to intercept yours, or your path tries to intercept someone else's, or your paths start to merge together into one path, even in the most beautiful, deep, loving relationship that you could ever find, the most perfect couple on the planet, they're still walking separate paths, because that one person is still that one person, and that other person is still that other person. They haven't merged into like one individual being. They're still two beautiful, beautiful people with their own likes and dislikes. I'll say it right this time. Their own passions, their own turn-ons, their own turn-offs. And it's okay just to be your own person and walk beside other people, be it romantic partner, friends, family, whatever. But you are still you, and it's okay to be you. It's okay to make your own choices, your own decisions, and make those choices because it is best for you. And, okay, so I'm not encouraging anyone to just like up sticks and abandon their family and people that they're caring for or anything else. But remembering that actually everything that we're doing in our life, we're doing because we've chosen to do it. And we can do these things and complain about it, or we can make a different choice and just do something different. My dog's barking because the kids have just arrived home. Apologies if anyone can hear that. So yeah, where was I? So, we can do it and complain about it. We can make a different choice completely. Or if we feel that this is the best choice for us, as I said earlier, we can switch that, how we perceive the situation, and remind ourselves that we have chosen to do these things. No one's forcing us to care for our kids. We do it because we want to. No one's forcing us to do a job that we hate. We're doing it because we've chosen to, because it is in some way benefiting us. No one's forcing us to take care of people or give someone a lift or whatever the decision may be. No one's forced us into doing that. And if they have, that's a very different situation. And that might be a different conversation completely. But you've made that choice to do it. So is it a case that you can change it? Is it a case that you need to stop and have a word with yourself and just remind yourself that actually you're doing this because you actually, in the long run, want to do it? I always come back to bathrooms. Always come back to bathrooms. I hate cleaning my bathroom, but I love having a clean bathroom.
Yeah.
So if I have to clean my bathroom, yeah, I'll do it and grump and groan. Or do I just get on with it, put some music on, get it done, and enjoy the results of it? But there are other choices. I could pay someone else to come in and clean it. I could just leave it and then have all kinds of weird bacteria growing in my bathroom. They're choices though, aren't they? They are choices. Yeah. I could do that. Some weeks it looks like I have made that choice.
That's my house at the moment. Though. It's not that bad. It's surface clean, tidy, but if you got in the nooks and crannies, you'd be like,
yeah. You see what I mean, don't you? So I want a clean bathroom. So A, I clean it myself. B, I pay someone else to clean it. C, I don't clean it at all, but then I'm not going to get what I want. Or the other option is to just move out completely and just start afresh with a clean bathroom somewhere else. Then again, if you're moving into a new house, you'd probably clean your bathroom anyway.
You have to clean it anyway, don't you?
It just happen. So it's about looking at those choices and going, okay, so am I doing this because I want to do the actual thing, or am I doing it because I want the outcome of it? And if I want the outcome of it, and we'll come back to your study now, how important is that outcome? And does that outcome have to be achieved right now? Because if I have too many spoons going off in too many different directions, well, they stop being spoons and they start being bees and causing us an awful lot of problems because they're flying out everywhere. And then we find that we're doing 25 different things and we can't do any of those things well. We end up sacrificing quality, sacrificing happiness, fulfillment, and joy because we're trying to force ourselves to paddle upstream when we just need to drop our oars and let ourselves glide. Choose the path of least resistance, Helen. That is what it is all about.
Well, I have to say we couldn't have recorded this episode at a better time because I've really been in turmoil over this. But I'm already starting as the day's gone on, and particularly since we've been talking about this, just to get a bit of acceptance inside. And already I feel like a weight's lifting off my shoulders, because I think that's the thing. I think I've just woken up to the reality that I'm losing spoons left, right, and centre. And very shortly, I'm not going to have any spoons left. And I don't want to live like that with no spoons, because I am a happy soul. I, wake up every day happy and excited for the day. And I don't want to be feeling miserable and moaning all the time. And people don't want to hear me being like that. So, yeah, I think it's really, really important.
I don't think I've ever heard you moaning and miserable. Even when
I still do it with a smile. Even if I moan, I'll inject some sort of humour into it because I cannot bear not having humour in things. That's why I'm so happy to take the mickey out of myself, because if you can't laugh at yourself, it's a bad job.
Absolutely. Me and my aliens both agree.
Yeah. Have I ever told you it's going completely off life purpose? But have I ever said to you, I don't know if I've ever said it on any of these episodes, I don't know, but I have got wonky teeth, but I love to smile, and I'm told I have a nice smile. We talked about it a bit on Body Image.
You do have a nice smile.
Do I ever tell you like what my family call me with my teeth? Have we ever talked about that? So in my family, I'm known as Stonehenge. Shelley's covering her mouth, honestly, and this is the best bit. If any of my family ever go past Stonehenge, like Lily on a school trip or my brother or whatever, they take pictures They put it in the family chat going, oh, look, mother's teeth, or look, Helen's teeth.
It's not very often that I am rendered speechless. But if there's something that's going to cause fucking body image trauma, I swear to God, it's that.
But
wow.
it doesn't. It actually doesn't, because for me personally, because they just mean it in a fun way, and we all just laugh at it. It is just a family joke.
It would make me cry. It would absolutely make me cry. If someone went to the zoo and took a picture of a hippo and sent me it, which is the equivalent of what's happening with your teeth, that would make me really cry.
Oh dear, but it doesn't with me. Maybe I'm weird. I just find it funny.
Or in denial, perhaps. I don't know. I think you have.
They're big.
I look at your teeth every single week that we record, and I think you have the most beautiful smile and the most beautiful teeth. And saying something like that would be the absolute last thing on my mind. When we finally get to a point where we put some pictures and videos and things like that out, you guys will see Helen's beautiful teeth and her beautiful smile. And I swear to God, the world would be worse if it didn't exist. So, wow. But can I also just say, Stonehenge is one of the most history and magic-filled places that existed. So,
well, exactly.
Yeah,
I think I've got magical teeth.
Yes.
But no, I suppose the point I'm trying to make is, A, you can find joy in the smallest of things.
You can.
B, I think it's good that you can laugh at yourself. But you know, it's just it is they do just mean it as a joke. But I can see why some people would get offended, because they know I don't get offended. They can carry it on. But you know, for me, you've got to just enjoy life. Yes. And I think where I was getting to the point where I wasn't in certain elements, and that's where I've sort of reassessed. And this episode's popped in just like a miracle, really, at the point I've needed it. And I hope all of our episodes have meant something to our listeners, where they may have popped in at a point where you just needed to hear something. But
and can we just ask to clarify? So Helen and I did some cards. Asking whether or not she should take a break from her studies. And what card did we get, Helen?
It said yes. Just straight out yes. Yeah, it was very
you know what? I don't do anything.
Did we ever talk to our listeners about did we ever mention it in any episodes when we started working on the podcast idea back at the start, and we asked the cards?
I'm not sure, but I don't ever make a decision in my life without asking the cards. Like literally everything. I mean, not like, you know, what am I going to have for lunch? Although I can't guarantee I've never asked the cards that. I ask the cards every if, like, you know, I want to launch something, I will find my prices, I will find the launch month, I will find all sorts through that. And we did just that for the podcast, didn't we?
Yeah, because we were in our heads, we were going to launch in June, and we just wanted to launch in June. And then
can you imagine if we had launched in June? Oh
yeah.
my God.
And then we talked about, oh no, it needs to be later, it needs to be September. Anyway, it kept coming back to the cards, and in the cards were like, no, it has to be August, didn't it? Which is when we launched, because we were worried about it being the summer holidays, but the cards were insistent that's when we had to do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, we should have, it's a shame really, maybe we'll do it for the next series. We should have done more of our outtakes.
Yeah. Bloopers.
Oh God.
Have a blooper reel of us. Well, I still think, you know, if I was to go through all our episodes and edit all the laughter and the cackle out, we could do an entire episode of just laughter and cackle, and have people listen to 45 minutes of just us laughing and cackling, and that'd be quite uplifting or terrifying. I'm not sure which one's more likely.
Well, but yes, potentially terrifying at times, particularly if you get a big old snort in there.
Yeah, well. All right, dear. My love. So I guess it's time to wind up this episode and to wind up this chapter of Spirit Rebels podcast. As we said first thing, thank you so much. We are grateful for each and every listener, each and every comment, every subscribe, every like, every time you listen to our little cackly voices and you smile. That makes our hearts light up, and we are so grateful for it. As we move forward, we are going into a 3-week mid-season break, as they say on Netflix and stuff. But we will be back in November. Helen, what's the exact date?
Sunday the 17th of November at
Sunday.
11:11.
So, of course, Sunday the 17th of November, 11:11, we will be back with the next chapter of our adventures. If you have any questions that you would like us to answer, if you have any thoughts, feelings, any particular themes for episodes that you would like us to discuss and you want to hear our thoughts for them, yeah, please do drop us an email. You can reach us at either using the Facebook or Instagram socials. Alternatively, Shelley at shelleymagic.com, and you'll come straight into my inbox.
Yeah, please talk to us on the socials, because they've been a bit slow, haven't they? And like we'll genuinely respond and connect with you guys and have chats and stuff. So if you do want to reach out, please do. Just look up Spirit Rebels and our lovely logo. You'll find us. And yeah, come and join us and we'll have some chats. And if any of you have got any Stonehenge similar stories where people in your family say things, if you want to share it with me, please do.
We might be opening a bag on a whole load of family trauma if we go down that route, Helen. But more honestly, to heal, more to heal.
More to heal, exactly. But honestly, this last 11 weeks has been an absolute joy. I couldn't wish to be sitting and having a cuppa and a chat with anybody else, Shells. You're fabulous. What I've got to say thank you to you. You've taught me so much, because you definitely are the teacher. And I love the fact I'm your pupil at the ripe old age of 44. You see, you're never too old to learn, are you?
Never too late to learn. We're always learning. It's an ongoing thing. But you, my darling, have brought the very best out in me, I think. Your questions, your engagement, your willingness and your openness through the whole series has been absolutely inspiring and wonderful to be part of that. So thank you, my love. Thank you.
I feel a bit sad that we're not going to be out in your ears next week, but please remember, guys, this is only 3 weeks.
Yes.
You must stay loyal. Don't be dropping off to other podcasts and forgetting about us when we come back in 3 weeks' time. That they might have moved on, Shells. We might be old news by then.
You know what we could do? We could set our listeners a little challenge for the next 3 weeks. Their challenge could be to share the podcast with 3 of their friends.
Yes, get our listeners so they can like, rate, review, subscribe, all of that jazz. Oh yes, I love it. Go on, listeners, do it for us. Share with 3 of your friends, and let's see. I mean, hopefully they'll like it. But even if they don't like it, even if we got negative feedback, we'd take it on, we'd listen, and we'd see if maybe we could tweak something.
No.
I would, guys. I would.
I think I've said this before somewhere. If it's negative, tell Helen. If it's positive, tell me, and we'll be happy. Can't cope with negative feedback. No, I can. It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, thank you so very, very much, and we will see you in November.
Take care. Bye.